Do you procrastinate? Procrastinating is putting things off. In this video, which is called Do These 7 Things and Stop Procrastinating Forever, you're going to learn some powerful techniques to make procrastination a thing of the past. So let's really look at procrastination. Look, the first thing I want to say to you is thank you so much for joining me on this video, because you know what? I could have put off making this video about procrastination and you could put off watching it. Procrastination is something I think we all have in common, and I want to share with you these 7 different steps, these 7 different things that if you do them, procrastination could become a thing of the past. Now, we know that people don't really change when we tell them what to do. We know that people change when their perspective changes, and that's really what I want to be sharing with you today. So the first thing we need to look at is what actually is procrastination. And of course, this isn't the first video that I've made on this subject. I think it's something that if you asked people all over the world, what is one thing that you would love to eliminate? I think most people would say they'd love to eliminate procrastinating. But what does it actually mean? Well, it comes from a Latin word, which basically means to put off until tomorrow, to put off something that you don't feel that you need to do now. But I also now just want to give you an understanding of the elements of procrastination. There are 3 elements. The first is that when you actually have an intention to do something, you actually want to do something, like you want to exercise, you want to start cooking, you want to make that extra call that you need to make for your business. There is an intention to do something. The next element of procrastination is where you actually make a voluntary delay to not do that thing. So somewhere in your mind, you are choosing not to do the thing that you intend to do. That's the second element. The third element is where you kind of regret it and you think, you know what? I really should have done that. I know that I should have done that, or I know that I should have not done that. It's something we have to become aware of. So in order to really apply these 7 steps, it's actually really important to just become aware of what procrastination is first. And I really want to help you to understand why we do it. But the next thing I want to share with you is this. Look, if you had £1 or $1 or €1 or a yen for every single time you put something off, for every time you procrastinated, how rich would you be? Now, many of you would say, Pete, I'd be a multi-millionaire. But one of the truisms about human beings is that we don't like to give up something that we have invested into. So for so many of us, we have invested so much time and energy into putting things off, and that then becomes our identity. It's who we think we are. In fact, how many of you would say, Pete, I am a procrastinator? Well, how would you like to become a procrastinator? That when you feel that temptation to voluntarily delay the thing that you know that if you did it or you stopped doing would improve your life, that you started to do what you needed to do. Wouldn't that be amazing? Well, that's what I want to show you how to do. But it's important to understand that most of us in the world today are obsessed with changing things. So we change our phones, we change the design of our houses, we change so many things. We change the way we look, the clothes that we wear, but very few people think about changing their mind. And for us, the word mind in the work that we do in coaching people is my intentions now delivered. That's what my 365 stands for. And I really want to help you to get your mind right by delivering on the things that you say that you're actually going to do. So let's look at why. Why do we procrastinate? Well, one reason is we don't like change. We genuinely don't like change. And if we think we should do something and we feel some sort of pain and effort around it, there's a part of our brain that's going to go, don't do that. That's effort. We want to conserve. And if we think of human beings in our evolution, human beings as cavemen, we would have never have gone for a run. We never would have done something that we didn't actually need to do. And we know that we live in a world right now where people are obsessed with comfort. If you perceive something to be effort, if you perceive something to be hard, there's a part of you that will go, you know what, I'll do that later. but later can become tomorrow. And I really encourage you to think about what are the things that you're really putting off, that you know that putting off are going to affect you massively in the long term. Another reason why we procrastinate is because of distraction. Did you know that your attention is being sold to the highest bidder? Even now, watching this video, you might have got to a point of thinking, well, I don't feel like I'm getting anything from this. I need something else. What is it that you really need? What is it you're looking for? Another reason people procrastinate is because of stress. Let's face it, if you live a life that is challenging and stressful, would you really then want to do something that you perceive also to be stressful, to be effort and hard work? Another reason is we just don't feel like it. If you don't feel like doing something, why do it? In fact, take a moment to think about how many people in the world today are sitting down or lying down and they don't feel like doing something. And because they don't feel like it, guess what? They probably won't do it. So to know why we procrastinate is really important. But let's get stuck in, not stuck, let's get stuck in, which actually is another reason people procrastinate, is they feel stuck. And what we want to encourage you to do is, if you feel that you're getting distracted, make the decision to apply these 7 steps to help you stop procrastinating, or at least limit it. I think the predisposition to put things off will always be there. Before I made this video today, I exercised. Did I feel like exercising? No. But what's that got to do with it? And that's what I want to share with you. So step number 1 is definitely to connect to a future self that you want to be. We know, and we make so many videos all about this, helping you understand that if you're not connected to a future self who you want to become, you'll just become who you're currently being. And we know that most of us have a relationship to the future that doesn't go very far. Most of us know who we're going to be today, tomorrow, next week, next month. But beyond that, most of us don't know who that person is. And if we don't know who that person is, why would we have empathy for that person? What I encourage you to think about is that your future self is saying no to many of the things that you say yes to, like aimlessly scrolling on social media or eating more than you need to. Your future self is saying no to things that you're saying yes to. And your future self is saying yes to things that you're saying no to. So connect to your future self. We've got many other videos that really help you understand this concept of future self, future identity. The second step is to forgive yourself for all the times that you have procrastinated. I'll mention the motivation or the procrastination equation, which is also known as the motivation equation, that was developed by a man called Piers Steel, who has won the Nobel Prize equivalent in psychology. He talks about the importance of forgiveness, to forgive yourself for every single time that you've procrastinated in the past. What this act has shown, that when people forgive themselves, it paves the way for a new way of working through the world, moving through the world. You don't have to be your procrastination. Step number 3 is to listen to the narrative that you're telling yourself, the rationale that you're making about why you can put this off. We are what we repeatedly do, but we also are the story that we keep telling ourselves. And remember, there is a part of you that wants to keep you where you are. There's a part of you that wants you to stay in the narrative that you've been telling yourself for years, where maybe you've been telling yourself, I am a procrastinator. And by the way, you can see behind me some letters, DWYSYAGTD. What does that mean? It means do what you say you are going to do. This is a great way to eliminate procrastination. Become a person of your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Because if you don't, there's a part of your brain that remembers. That's kind of a bonus step, if you like. Step number 4 is to win. And what does that mean? Well, it's what's important now. I think we probably know that we can be very good at giving ourselves too many things to do. I think it's important, if you connect to your future self, to decide, well, what's actually important now? And really, really get good at recognizing what's important. If we go back to Piers Steele, his procrastination equation, which is motivation equals E times V over I times D. Now, what does this mean? The E times V is your expectation. That if you expect yourself to do what you say you're going to do, expect that that adds value to your life, that your future self will value the little things that you do every single day, and to value that. That's what we have to turn up. We have to turn down impulsivity and delay. This is what so many people are suffering with. They allow their impulses to get the better of them, and they delay many of the things. We've got to turn those things down and turn up the expectation and the value of the little things that we do over an extended period of time. Number 5 is finish. If you say you're going to do something and you do it, finish it. Get in the game. You'll notice many times, in fact, some other crazy studies that have been done where children who don't like maths, we can wire up the brain, we can see the pain receptors light up when they think about maths. But when they start, the pain receptors turn off, which is actually step number 7. But going back to step number 5, it's to finish what you start. So once you get in the game, have a floor and have a ceiling of what you do. A floor might be, I'm going to do 5 press-ups. That could be the floor. You've got in the game. Do what you say you're going to do. And if you do that, you might actually find that you want to do more. Step number 6 is to celebrate. Many people know about the power of gratitude, the importance of practicing being grateful for what you have. What is now becoming more known is the power of celebration. Celebrate all your small wins, what's important now, and to celebrate your success. Because if you celebrate it, you're more likely to repeat it. You'll get a dopamine hit every time you do the things that you say you're going to do. And number 7 is just get started. Just get into the game, just get started. Do what you say you're going to do. So what I would love to know from you is what has been your biggest takeaway. It's really important that you take a moment and think, okay, Pete, you've just shared us all this information with me about procrastinating. Don't put off doing this. Comment below and let us know what's your biggest takeaway. So step number 1 is connect to your future self. Step number 2, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for all the times in the past you said you were going to do something and you didn't do it, or you put something off. Step number 3, listen to the narrative that you're telling yourself. Change that narrative, create a different story. Step number 4, win. What does that mean? What's important now? Recognize what's important and get in the game. Number 5, finish what you start. Have a floor, have a ceiling, but get in the game. Number 6, celebrate. Celebrate all the little things that will lead to the success that you're looking for. And 7, just get started. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just get started. Once you start, that pain receptor will turn off and the inspiration that you're looking for will come to you. What's your biggest takeaway? Comment below. You'll also see there's some other videos we've done on procrastination. Check them out and we'll see you next time.